Knowledge shall not be the concern of scholars alone. The uplifting of the whole people shall be its final goal.
They inspire us all with their brilliance, creative force, and fervent desire to make the world a better place.
I accept in the name of our poor people.
Dream your dreams. It is possible to have a new kind of world.
Those who receive an honorary degree from the University of Alberta set the highest standards of dedication and excellence for students and for society at large.
It is a good day to be you.
Remember who you are. Remember where you come from.
And while their backgrounds and fields of endeavor vary widely, all are exceptional.
Maybe it's best if I just speak from the heart.
I will remember you.
How lucky are you to be armed with one of the greatest educations in the world and to be living in this country at this very point in human history.
We face today a clash of ignorances.
You are who make the history. You are who create the future.
U of A honorary degree recipients embody the university's vision to inspire the human spirit through outstanding achievements in learning, discovery, and citizenship in a creative community.
Your generation will be called upon to balance what is now moving quickly to a tipping point.
I think we are now in the threshold of a new beginning.
It is a spirit that is building one of the world's great universities for the public good.
It is your attitude that will sustain you. It is not what happens to you, it is what you do with it.
Go out and not simply change the world, go out and save the world. That is what I would seek you to do.
Eminent Chancellor, on behalf of the Senate of the University of Alberta, it is my privilege to introduce Charles Lee for the honorary degree of Doctor of Science, our institution's highest honor. A distinguished alumni award recipient, Dr. Lee's academic odyssey blossomed into a transformative quest that redefined the very fabric of genetic understanding. At the heart of his legacy lies his seminal discovery of genome-wide copy number variation, a revelation that shattered prevailing beliefs and ignited a paradigm shift in human genetics. This groundbreaking insight, unearthed amidst his tenure at Harvard Medical School, not only revolutionized our comprehension of disease mechanisms, but also paved the way for the development of novel genetic diagnostic tests, offering hope to countless individuals grappling with genetic afflictions. Beyond his scientific acumen, Dr. Lee's character radiates humility, enthusiasm, and a steadfast commitment to collaborative research. His reverence for mentors and peers alike underscores his innate benevolence and unwavering integrity. These personal attributes, along with his extraordinary achievements and contributions, have earned him global recognition and praise. Dr. Lee's service to both the scientific community and society at large exemplifies his profound sense of duty and compassion. As the inaugural scientific director of the Jackson Laboratory for Genomic Medicine, He pioneered a new era of precision medicine, while his stewardship during the COVID-19 pandemic showcased his adept leadership and unwavering resolve in navigating public health emergencies in the state of Connecticut. Furthermore, Dr. Lee's commitment to nurturing future scientific talent, his advocacy for women's education and research, and his endeavors to enhance scientific endeavors in South Korea attest to his far-reaching impact and altruistic spirit. His multifaceted contributions spanning academia, community service, and global scientific advancement underscore his indispensability as a beacon of inspiration and a force for good. As part of Dr. Lee's honorary degree nomination package, one of his supporters wrote that, simply put, Dr. Lee is a force for good. Today, we honor his extraordinary achievements, unwavering character, and profound impact on human genetics and society at large. And we recognize his enduring legacy as a visionary scientist, compassionate humanitarian, and a distinguished alumni. Eminent Chancellor, with great pride and respect, I present Charles Lee.
Charles Lee, in recognition of groundbreaking discovery of structural variation in the human genome and for his sustained advocacy for science and lifelong learning, I desire to confer upon you the honorary degree of Doctor of Science and to express the hope that we shall continue to be enriched by your wise counsel for many years to come. Congratulations and thank you.
Eminent Chancellor, President, representatives of the Board of Governors, graduates, friends and family. I'd like to first start by joining others in acknowledging that we are located on Treaty 6 territory, and I respect the histories, languages, and the cultures of the First Nations, Métis, Inuit, and all the First Peoples of Canada, whose presence continues to enrich the vibrant community here and throughout North America. Wow, it's so great to be back here in Edmonton and at the U of A. I must admit that this opportunity to come back came as a very big surprise to me. You see, when I received the call from Chancellor Garrity in April, telling me that the University of Alberta would like to confer an honorary doctorate degree on me, my immediate response to her was, why? What for? No sooner had these words come out of my mouth than I realized these were not probably the most intelligent words to speak on this occasion. My apologies, Chancellor. Let this be a warning to all the graduates. When you receive your call from the University Chancellor, the correct response is always, thank you very much. This honor is so meaningful to me on several levels. First, for much of my early life, I lived right here in Alberta. This is where I grew up. When I was a year old, my parents and I immigrated from South Korea to a very small town in northern Alberta called High Prairie, population 2,500. We subsequently moved to Edmonton, where I attended McNally Composite High School, and then moved on to the University of Alberta. Second, the University of Alberta is my alma mater. I had the pleasure of completing all of my formal university education right here, starting in the Department of Genetics and later in Medical Sciences. My mentors included Dr. C.C. Lin, John Kaspira, Ramesh Bambani, Bruce Ritchie, Heather McDermott, John Locke, and so many others. And although some of my mentors have now sadly passed on, I am delighted to be reuniting with others. I am eternally grateful to the University of Alberta for the rich education environment that you've provided, and to my teachers here for starting me on my career in science. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Finally, I'm so pleased to see that the University of Alberta not only continues to grow in size, but also in excellence. Home to more than 42,000 students, I'm thrilled that this year the University of Alberta has ranked 4th in the country and is in the top 100 universities in the world. I know that you must feel as proud as I am to be a member of this prestigious academic institution. And now for a confession. For weeks, I have agonized, really agonized about what to say in this commencement speech. What could I possibly say that would inspire the brightest minds that are here in this auditorium? Something bold, something amazing, and preferably something that you haven't already heard before. I finally retreated back to my science, something that I'm very comfortable with, and hoping that through it, together, we might find a nugget of wisdom, or not. In 2003, thousands of scientists working on the Human Genome Project announced the completion of a final human genome. 2.85 billion bases of A's, T's, C's, and G's that dictate the workings of every cell in our body. One of the conclusions of this project was that we humans are essentially genetically identical. In fact, your DNA is 99.9% identical to my DNA, and the small number of differences in our DNAs are in the form of something called single nucleotide polymorphisms, or SNPs, that are spelling mistakes in the Book of Life. That same year, in 2003, our research group in Boston had acquired a new genetic technology called array-CGH. Simply put, this technology allowed us to scan the DNA of a person and identify large gains and losses of DNA that are often associated with cancer and other genetic diseases. John I. Frady, a trainee in my lab, began conducting control experiments using this new technology, comparing the DNA from one healthy individual to the DNA from another unrelated healthy individual. Based on scientific dogma, if SNPs are the only differences between our genomes, we expected to see flat lines in every experiment that we did. We did not. Instead, we saw many blips in our control experiments, which could only be interpreted as gains and losses of large sections of DNA in our genomes. This was a very unexpected result and could have easily been dismissed as technical artifacts. In fact, other scientists that had run similar experiments before us had done just that. They dismissed them as technical artifacts. We later joined forces with fellow Canadian scientist Stephen Shear from the University of Toronto Sick Kids Hospital, and together we submitted our findings for publication. That paper, to this day, was the hardest paper for me to ever publish. The reviewers would not believe the data, nor would they accept the conclusion that each of us are actually much more genetically different from one another than we had previously thought. But when the paper was finally published, it opened up a new avenue of human genetics, whose goal was to figure out what each of these large changes in our DNA actually do. Some of these changes explain why particular individuals metabolize certain drugs better than others. Some of these changes can help us predict which treatment works better on our own individual cancer. Some of these changes help us adapt to the variations in our environment, and yet some of these changes are part of the genetic evolution that have occurred since the split of modern humans and Neanderthals over 800,000 years ago. One day, it may even be shown that some of these changes contributed to the different responses that we had to the same COVID-19 infections, why some people had very severe respiratory and heart-related issues, and others felt like they had no more than a mild cold. Now, I could stand here and dwell on my persistent feelings that I have for reviewer number 3 on this paper. I think that would be inappropriate. Instead, I will reflect on the reality that we are indeed much more genetically different from one another than we had previously thought. But that's okay. This is something that I have come to embrace, and to me, uniformity is actually scientifically boring. I have learned so much more from studying the consequences of the differences in our genomes and its impact to human biology and medicine. Similarly, in whatever you do in the future, I hope you will also embrace and celebrate the things that make us different. Remember, we are one community with different people having different perspectives, but when we come together, we can make an impact. We can reach those lofty goals, and we can build that better future and that better world. The parchments that you will be receiving today make this your responsibility. Viva la différence. Some time ago, when one of my colleagues at the Jackson Laboratory asked, "Which of your achievements are you most excited and proud about?" I told them, "That's easy. I have 3 achievements that I'm excited and proud about, and those are my 3 children that my wife and I have been blessed with. And to them, today, I dedicate this honor." Eminent Chancellor, President, respected guests, thank you so much for all that you do. And to the graduates of the Faculty of Science 2024, a hearty congratulations to all of you. Good luck.
Thank you so much, Charles. And you were worried about what to say. I think you didn't need to worry at all. Your message was such a compelling one. We pride ourselves at the university in educating people who will make a difference in the world, and certainly you're one of them. I'm so pleased to be able to honor your honorary degree today. Thank you so much, Charles. We have one more small task for you. We'd like you to sign our honor roll. And that makes it official. You are now a member of the University of Alberta class of 2024. Welcome to the family.